So the UFO phenomenon began in 1947, and I don't talk about this in the Exorcist Effect, but again, 1947, and this pilot named Keith Arnold said he saw these objects, and it looked like if you threw a pie plate at the water. So in other words, moving like skipping rocks. But what the newspapers reported is that he saw flying saucers. And that year, there's 800 more sightings of flying saucers, and these actually look not like what Keith Rainier, or not Keith Rainier, Keith Arnold saw, but they look like they look like kind of the UFOs that we think of today. So that was in 1947, and then 1951, I think you got the day the Earth stood still, where there's this alien named Mr. Carpenter who's very clearly supposed to be Jesus. If you watch the movie, it's really over the top, and he's shot and resurrected, and he's here to save the world and so forth. And after that, people began saying, "Well, I've actually gotten messages from the aliens, and they are our space brothers," and things like that, right? So there's a couple of ways to interpret this. One is sort of pop culture is giving people ideas of what is possible, and that's kind of shaping the way that they see things. Because if you see an unidentified object in the sky, the only way you can begin to get your brain around it is by other things that you've been exposed to, right? Either through media or stories or something like that, right? And then there are weirder interpretations. There's a guy at Rice University named Jeff Kripal, and Jeff Kripal is actually hosting a conference on UFOs next month. But he thinks that there's actually a real paranormal phenomenon out there, but that it is taking the form of things from pop culture. Right? That in some level, this is the only way our brain can process what we're seeing. And so it's not that people watch too much sci-fi and then they start to see aliens. It's that they're seeing something is trying to communicate with them using their knowledge of sci-fi. Kripal's kind of alone on this. There aren't a lot of other religion professors kind of hopping on to to explore where that kind of theory leads. But it is out there, and I do mention it to undergraduates because it is very interesting.